Lilith's Veil, How Social Media Masks the Yetzer Hara in Plain Sight. By Rebecca Barthrop, October 22, 2024, Anti-Lilith, Messianic Kabbalah. Lilith's Veil, How Social Media Masks the Yetzer Hara in Plain Sight. Modern world, particularly through the rise of social media, has blurred the lines of propriety when it comes to the visual consumption of images, especially of women. Even when women are modestly dressed, the overwhelming presence of their images online can cause many to rationalize that it is acceptable to gaze upon them without harm. Often, this behavior hides behind the guise of checking in on a woman and her family, looking at pictures shared on social media to see how they're doing. Men convince themselves that their intentions are harmless, but they linger on the images of the women themselves, giving in to the Yetzer Hara evil inclination. From the perspective of the oral tradition and the deeper mystical understanding of Torah Sod, this behavior is far from innocent. It is rooted in the manipulation of the Yetzer Hara, influenced by demonic forces that distract from one's divine purpose and invite spiritual impurity. The Yetzer Hara and the eyes. The Talmud teaches in Berachot 24a that even looking at a woman's little finger with lustful intent is considered inappropriate. This commandment extends to guarding one's heart and eyes. The Torah in Numbers 15:39 warns, "Do not follow after your heart and your eyes, after which you stray." According to the oral tradition of Moses, the Yetzer Hara begins its assault on a person through their eyes, leading the heart astray. The eyes are windows to the soul, and gazing at a woman, even modestly dressed, opens a door for improper thoughts to infiltrate the heart. The Zohar Sod interpretation explains that this struggle with the Yetzer Hara is not merely a personal, internal weakness. Rather, it is a battleground manipulated by external spiritual forces. These demonic forces, referred to as klipot, shells of impurity, exploit the desires of the Yetzer Hara to lead a person into deeper spiritual pitfalls. Even when a person tells themselves they are simply viewing family photos or catching up on how someone's family is doing, the act of lingering and gazing on images of the woman herself allows these spiritual forces to take hold. When the sages warn against gazing at women, they are cautioning against more than just overt lust. The rationalization that it is innocent to look at a woman's family photos is an example of how the Yetzer Hara can disguise itself as something harmless. But the Talmud warns that these excuses are deceptive, and the gaze itself is where impurity can take root. The longer a man lingers, the more susceptible he becomes to these darker influences. The illusion of innocence and social media. Social media has exacerbated the challenge of guarding one's eyes. Platforms like Instagram and Facebook are flooded with images of women and their families, encouraging visual indulgence. Even when the images seem modest or family-focused, the Yetzer Hara can exploit them to spark improper thoughts. Modern men may convince themselves that nothing is wrong because the women are dressed modestly or because they're just looking at family photos. However, the Talmud in Avodah Zarah 20a teaches that even glancing at a beautiful woman can stir up the fires of the Yetzer Hara regardless of her attire. What starts as a glance can quickly become a spiritual pitfall when men linger on these images. The Zohar warns that when a man gazes improperly, it opens spiritual channels for the Sitra Achra, the other side, or forces of impurity, to enter his life. This lingering, even when justified as innocent curiosity about someone's family, is precisely what allows the Yetzer Hara to gain a foothold. It corrupts not only the thoughts but the spiritual vessel itself, darkening the soul and drawing it further from holiness. The demonic forces behind the Yetzer Hara. In Kabbalistic tradition, improper gazing is not just a personal failure, it empowers negative spiritual entities, such as Lilith and the Shedim demons. Lilith, in mystical Judaism, embodies uncontrolled desire and impurity, especially of a sexual nature. Every impure gaze strengthens her influence, further enslaving the soul to lust. The Zohar teaches that with each improper glance, these demonic forces gain more power over a person, ensnaring them deeper into impurity. The Talmud in Kiddushin 40 warns that the Yetzer Hara begins as a small flame that, if left unchecked, can become a raging fire. Social media fans these flames by making images readily available, leading to desensitization. What may start as innocent curiosity, like checking in on someone's family, quickly turns into indulgence. The Zohar emphasizes that improper gazing creates distortions in spiritual light, allowing the forces of impurity to corrupt one's inner being. This is particularly dangerous when men rationalize their behavior by saying they're only looking at family pictures. The demonic forces use this as a pretext to further their influence, lulling a person into complacency. The Yetzer Hara is cunning, and by disguising itself behind seemingly innocent actions, it ensnares the person in a cycle of lust and impurity. Overcoming the Yetzer Hara. The antidote to this spiritual danger is found in Torah study, prayer, and vigilance in guarding one's eyes. The Talmud in Shabbat 33 teaches that Torah study serves as a shield against the Yetzer Hara. Specifically, studying the deeper dimensions of Torah Sod helps align the heart and mind with divine wisdom, repelling impure thoughts. The Tikkun Zohar stresses the importance of focusing on holiness and immersing oneself in the mysteries of creation and the hidden dimensions of Torah. By doing so, one connects with the Shekinah divine presence, which strengthens the soul's defenses against the Yetzer Hara. The Zohar teaches that purifying one's eyes and thoughts brings down a divine light that dispels the klipot and fortifies one's spiritual vessel. Conclusion. In today's world, where social media normalizes constant exposure to images of women, even modestly dressed or with their families, the oral tradition and mystical teachings of the Torah warn against the Yetzer Hara's subtle deceptions. What seems like an innocent glance, checking in on someone's family, can hide a deeper spiritual danger. The sages and the Zohar emphasize that guarding one's eyes is crucial to spiritual purity. Behind the scenes, demonic forces manipulate these harmless actions, pulling a person further from holiness. Recognizing the true nature of this challenge is essential. By arming oneself with Torah study, prayer, and an awareness of the spiritual dangers hidden in seemingly innocent actions, one can overcome the Yetzer Hara and protect their spiritual integrity. In the end, it's not just about avoiding temptation, it's about aligning with the divine light of Torah and safeguarding the soul from the darkness that lurks behind impure gazing. How did Lilith end up tricking them all into dying in the wilderness? Rebecca Barthrop, view all posts. Recent posts. Lilith's veil, how social media masks the Yetzer Hara in plain sight. How did Lilith end up tricking them all into dying in the wilderness? Lilith and counterfeit Tzaddikim. Priestly blessing. RLM TV Guide, June-August 2024. Simchat Torah, 5-step circumcision. Noga, anti-augury, anti-Lilith, Messianic Kabbalah, RLM TV Library, School of the Magi, uncategorized.